Hey guys, welcome back. So this is video 5. So once again, I just want to thank everyone who has been supporting these videos, who have been encouraging me, who have been providing me information that they want me to put out there. I do want to say I do have a lot of content backed up that I'm going to be going over because of how much stuff I do have that I do want to present to you guys. I'm as much as I want to touch on certain subjects right away, I kind of want to get the other content that I have out before I start going over the new stuff that's coming out in the group. I know there are definitely a few social media groups and accounts that have also been putting some things out that Jeff and Shaleia have posted. At some point in time, I will put that out there and kind of go into more in depth with that content. I do also plan on doing a deep dive on the how TFU, Twin Flames Universe, Twin Flame Ascension School, Jeff and Shaleia, however you are finding this information. I am going to do a deep dive at some point in time on how things were in the group and how it is very similar to how certain cults are run or have ran. So I'm doing a lot of research into that now. I have done research in the past after I left the group, but I just want to get everything collected and present that to you guys in a actual detailed video. It'll probably end up being 2 parts, but I just kind of want to let you guys know what's in the works. So once again, just briefly going over the verbal abuse that's been going, that has happened in TFU and that also is continuing to happen in TFU. In my previous video, I literally had read off the messages that Jeff, mostly Jeff, but Jeff and Shaleia had made in their sales group. Verbal abuse that those people were having to pretty much deal with, and it became so normalized that people were just, a lot of people were just perceiving these as blocks that they had to work through in order to receive their good or to build their business. So one thing that I will say is let's go over the pay that these people were making. And I actually was able to find an old screenshot that I had taken of the actual pay that Jeff and Shaleia were paying their people. For a month's pay, I'm making more than the CEO in one paycheck than the CEO was making in a month. And that's after my taxes, and that's before the CEO's pay is actually does their taxes and has their taxes actually taken out of that pay. I make more in a 2-week check than Jeff and Shaleia's CEO make in a month, which is extremely sad. You're a CEO and you're not being paid CEO money. I'm not sure if they're paying anybody anymore. I honestly doubt it. So that was the highest pay, was the 1,500 before taxes. The lowest payment was, I think they've gone up. I hope they have. For admin assistant, this person got paid $25. I hope that's even if that's a week, that is extremely low. And that means in a month, you only got paid $100 or $125, depending on how many weeks we had in the month. So whose bills is this paying? Like, it's you're not paying anything. You're not paying anything worth working for. So I just kind of wanted to go over that for you guys, so that way you guys know that that is what these people were being paid at the time of that screenshot. So when it comes to pay, like, the only way I can see someone actually being able to pay their bills, in my personal opinion, would either be to work on your own business. For a lot of these people, they had their own coaching business, so hopefully they were bringing in clients, and then having a regular job, because $125 at the max a month is not paying much of anything. You guys will see me look down. I'm looking at notes. I'm trying to be more organized in these videos. So eventually I always talk about how wealthy they are, how they can show people how to make wealth. At one point in time, Jeff and Shaleia actually made a video on YouTube, which is no longer on there, talking about how they went from pretty much rags to multimillionaires. In the video, they either took it down or they put it on private. But I know there are a few people who actually downloaded the video, so they have that video. If someone can send me that information, I know people have been reaching out to me. If someone can send me that video, if they have it, I just want to really just kind of go over it and point out a few things that they had mentioned in that video when it comes to, like, their assets and stuff like that. Because the house that Jeff and Shaleia live in, they don't own it. They're not buying it. They rent that home. And the cars that they have, unless they finally decided to pay it out, at the time that I was in the group, they still had car payments. So they had leased the Porsche, and then also the convertible, the custom convertible that Jeff has, was also on a payment. So I want to talk about another thing, and I think I mentioned this in a previous video, but if I did, I do apologize. At one point in time in the leadership group, Jeff and Shaleia had made a video saying that they were looking to, of course, expand on their business, and that their business had everything that they needed except the capital. So what they were planning on doing, and like I said, I don't have the audio on this. I wish I did. If someone does, reach out to me, and I will let you know how you can send information to me. But what they were going to do, or what they were planning on doing, was opening up their business to the point where they could actually have shares of the company. Here's the thing, though. What they were planning on doing was they would make people sign documentation stating that if, for whatever reason, they left TFU or decided to part ways, any shares that they had, they no longer could keep. And here's why I find this so interesting. Because Jeff and Shaleia were talking about how, if they were going to pay certain people that worked for them, that they were going to give them a certain amount in actual money, capital, and then they would pay the rest out in shares. So people supposedly would be getting shares and some type of pay, depending on what their ratio was going to be, but a person would not be able to just leave and cash out their shares. Like, if they decided to leave, Jeff and Shaleia had talked about this in the video, how they would make it to where the person would have to literally give up the shares that they had. Here's how controlling that is. Because if someone did want to part ways, they may or may not be able to. Because even if I'm slowly starting to maybe cash in one share here, one share there, you're already gonna have eyes on me because it's gonna be like, why are you cashing in your shares instead of keeping them, right? So it's like almost impossible if they were ever to do something like that. It'd be almost impossible for you to actually leave the group and actually get the money that you are owed, um, because those shares would suppose from their point of perspective with whatever documentation they would have, those shares would be taken away from you. So it's another way of controlling. Um, for me, I feel it's another way of controlling someone, and then also making sure that whoever works for you almost doesn't have an escape plan because they can't cash those shares out and just go. Like they would have to either have something on the side that they're already building, or they would have to be saving what they already had and trying to squeeze their budget. So just something to kind of be mindful of, like for someone who's trying to do something like that, like I can't cash out my shares. I have to sign documentation that says if I decided to part ways with you guys, that I have to give you those shares back, and I have no way of pretty much getting the money that technically you would owe me. So that I thought that was very weird, and for me, honestly, I think that's very cult-like because people become reliant on you, and even if they wanted to leave, it's going to be almost impossible for them to do so. Jeff and Shaleia had always talked about expanding their work, right? They were going to be like the gurus of all gurus. And at some point in time, I might do a video where I just post nothing but screenshots and conversations between stuff in the group or conversations that people have had with me regarding their opinion about the group, and not even realizing that I had either left the group or just they're in the group and they're just being honest about how they feel with the situation. They always talked about how they were going to expand their work, and it was going to be all over, and pretty much just like it was going to spread, right? It was just going to spread like wildfire, pretty much. Here's the funny thing: they only really sell their products in the groups. Anytime Jeff and Shaleia come out with a new product, they advertise it in the group, because these people that are in the group is their are their potential customers, which I understand. Like you have an audience, like of course you wanna advertise them that you have new products and stuff out, but very rarely do Jeff and Shaleia actually advertise outside the group. They have their coaches advertise these products for them, which means they're putting it on their personal Facebook pages. They're advertising it to their clients, and other groups that they might be in, for Twin Flames. At one point in time, Jeff and Shaleia were actually trying to get into, or I want to say sneak, but plan their way in to other Twin Flame groups along with some of the other members in TFU, so that way they can try to guide people to TFU and to the products that Jeff and Shaleia sell. So that's just so you guys know. But yeah, so a lot of the marketing that's really done, or a lot of the advertising that's really done when it comes to Jeff and Shaleia's work, from what I've seen, is really from the coaches or the people who are associated with TFU. Not so much Jeff and Shaleia. Yeah, they'll make a post, but then the coaches actually take these posts, they put it on their Facebook pages, they'll put it up as a banner on their Facebook and things like that to try to advertise these products, even though at the end of the day, I mean, if they're getting any type of cut, most of that money is going in Jeff and Shaleia's pockets. So, yeah, just want to touch base on that. So, yeah, they do very little marketing outside of TFU. They may put something on their Instagram from time to time, but for the most part, it seems a lot of their advertising is done through their coaches. The coaches will always recommend buying Jeff and Shaleia's work. And there was a video that Jeff and Shaleia had talked about, or a post where they said at the end of the day, all you technically would need would be their book that they made or that they printed or wrote or whatever. So they say, at the end of the day, all you would need is our book, and you could get yourself into harmonious union. But as soon as someone joins the group, your coaches, or you guys in particular, are trying to force upon these new members that they need to buy your courses in order to get into union. And in my previous video, I'd even showed a screenshot of someone who said like they felt like they were being harassed because they were getting messages about pretty much committing to their journey and purchasing the courses by Jeff and Shaleia. And within going into the teachings, I'm going to talk about the life purpose. So, when it comes to the life purpose classes, once again, I was subscribed to that, and my account was active. I'm not even sure if it is active now anymore. They probably deleted it, but if so, whatever. Here's my opinion on those classes. The information provided feels like watered down information that comes from other business gurus. You'd be better off, because it's over $1,000, I know for sure, but you'd be better off taking $500. I'll say $300 to $500 if you really want to spend that much money. Honestly, I don't even think you need that much money. And actually investing that money in actual business books, like good business books. You'd be better off doing that and building your own business and having probably a better understanding. Of course, there's certain principles when it comes to life purpose, or not life purpose, but building a business or following your goals and your dreams and your passions. There's tons of resources out there, and books out there, free resources, books, articles, things like that. If you really want that one-on-one help, I think there are definitely more people out there who are better qualified to provide you with that information. It's because Jeff and Shaleia always talked about the benefits of taking the life purpose class. So, and I'm pretty sure there was a bunch of testimonials. I think these were taken off too. These were taken down also on YouTube, but testimonials about people's experience with taking the life purpose class and how much of a benefit it was, and pretty much people talked about how they were being supported financially by their life purpose, right? So they were following their life purpose, and it was financially supporting their life. But you listen to some of the lessons and stuff like that, or you would see some of the posts, and these people were. It was complete 180 from what they were saying in their testimonials. Like, they would talk about how they're being supported and they're happy, and that their life purpose is doing great, etc., etc. But then in actuality, like, they're actually financially struggling. They're quote unquote not supported by their life purpose. Like, they still have to figure out ways to make up the income that they're not making to sustain themselves. So it is something to be aware of. Like, if example would be like, if I'm saying like, yeah, I'm fully supported by my life purpose, but then I turn around and like in a group I'm saying like, oh my gosh, I'm not making any money. Or if I'm in the class and I'm saying like, oh my gosh, I'm not making any money. I didn't make any sales this month. I had to pull the money out of my savings account to make, to get by this month. So it's like, it's a completely different from what these people were saying versus what was actually going on, of course, behind the scenes, because they wanted to make the lessons or the teachings look like they were actually beneficial. So, yeah. Also with that, I think I touched base on this earlier, Jeff and Shaleia put a lot of responsibility of building their business on their coaches. they expect their coaches to advertise. They expect their coaches to reach out to new members and, try to persuade them into the benefits of buying the classes or the subscriptions. And at the end of the day, like, I feel that these people would probably be better off building their own business, like getting out there and getting their own clients and having their own income without being so reliant on the potential clients that they might have in TFU, because not everyone wants to, and I mentioned this in a previous video, but not everyone wants to spend money on two subscriptions, one for TFAS, whether that be the one class pass or whether that be the all class pass, another subscription for the life purpose, and then on top of that, now you want me to pay for one-on-one coaching. These people might be better off just kind of maybe stepping away and building their own brand. And there was a coach who was suspended for not doing a sales report for their own business. So this is their own business. They have their own coaching business. And I guess at this point, Jeff and Shaleia were requiring that coaches do a monthly sales report for their own business to provide to Jeff and Shaleia on how much they were making. That is ridiculous. You are having people who have their own business provide you with a sales report so you can see how much money they're making. For what? Honestly, I feel that might have been a way for them to be able to boast about maybe how much money they were able to help their coaches make based off of, them taking a life purpose class or them being associated with TFU, et cetera, et cetera. But that's just my opinion on that one. But mind you, they're not contracted with TFU. It's not like they're contractors or they're actual employee coaches of TFU. Like, these people own their own business. They just happen to be in the group and advertise under the open forum or even the leadership forum, depending on where they're at. So, yes. Also, just so you guys know, I actually do have pictures of Jeff and Shaleia's sales reports, particularly over 2 months. This was in September and August of 2019. This was when they were releasing their Toronto talks. So it's comparing like their sales from the products that they had between August and September, and if there was a change. In some areas, their sales did drop. So that was interesting to see. I also have a report showing their cancellations over the purchases of certain products as well. So another thing I want to talk about was that at one point in time, one of my friends at the time had actually reached out to me about the fact that, of course, tax season was coming around, and Jeff and Shaleia had sent out tax forms for people, their coaches, to fill out as if these people were actually Jeff and co-workers of Jeff and Shaleia. But Jeff and Shaleia never had these people actually fill out tax forms at the beginning, so that way they would get an actual check, like an actual weekly or bi-weekly check from their company. So one of my friends at the time, when she received this information, I'm not sure if she had responded back like this, but she informed me that she was going to. That pretty much, she was going to need their tax ID number, for their employee ID tax number, whatever it's called, I forget. Pretty much, so that way when she files her taxes, that she can include the amount that they had paid out to her supposedly, if she was going to be kind of marked as like a independent contractor, pretty much. I'm not sure whatever came of that, but that was one of the things that they were doing. When they were also sending out these tax forms and trying to inform people how to fill them out, on the form they had sent out to everyone, they had sent out someone's social security number by accident. So that just shows you how careful these people are with sensitive information. They obviously do not care to really go back and check and make sure that everything is good to go before they do that. They sent this, they emailed this information to a bunch of the other people that they sent this email to. I'm assuming all the other coaches in the group. And unfortunately, it did have someone's full social security number on there. And unfortunately, they weren't able to recall it before, of course, it became people became aware of the situation. And of course, the person whose social security number was put out there, of course, they were highly upset because at the end of the day, you have no idea who these people are or what they're going to do with your information. And you just provided, not only do you have this information, but you just provided, I don't even know how many other people with someone's social security number, and they can take it and do whatever they want with it. So that's just very irresponsible on their end and just really shows you how careful they are with sensitive information. They don't care. I mean, they're even willing to try to put people's personal information out there to the world and to other people to try to blackmail them, to try to shut them up, pretty much. So they don't care. You can't. I mean, if you got any information on me, I would look. Go ahead and put it out there. In fact, while you at it, go ahead and send me a copy or whatever you got, so I can go ahead and post it on my own page. Because one thing I am not afraid of is putting my business out there, for those and everyone to see. I'm pretty much an open book and do not care. So yeah. So let's talk about the smear campaign. Or I'm sorry, let's talk about the Reddit campaign that Jeff and Shaleia were trying to create to smear the articles that were pretty much coming out about their little cult. So, of course, there was the Reddit article that I talked about in my previous videos, and I will definitely, of course, put links to all of that in the description below. But there was a Reddit post that blew up. And when I say blew up, I mean, like, if you put Jeff and Shaleia's name in Google search, like, this Reddit post was the first thing that popped up on your search results. And it was literally, it literally said, like, twin flame cult, like, Jeff and Shaleia. And it was about people who were posting their experience about what it was like being in this group and the abuse that they had suffered from in their stories. And Jeff and Shaleia, like, they literally wanted to do a campaign on how to combat this these articles about their group. And I will definitely post screenshots of this so you guys can literally see it and you know that I am not BSing. They even had people sign up for dates and times of when they were going to post their testimonials about how great and amazing TFU was, and if they were responding to like a cult, like a cult post, or they were to respond directly to the post and make sure they were signed in under their Reddit account, so that way it would show up under there. So they were trying to find a way to battle or fight the information that was coming up to these people, because it's like if you're Google searching Jeff and Shaleia or you're Google searching Twin Flame Universe and the first thing that comes up in an article that says Twin Flame Cult and it has their name Jeff and Shaleia, you're gonna be like, what the heck is this? Like, you're gonna be like, whoa. So they were trying to fight that because it literally was the first thing that was coming up on their on people's search engine. Um, One thing I want to talk about when it came to their coaching and their advertising in this group, and then this video is long, is that they would make coaches pay for advertising in their group. People were literally paying for advertising to advertise their business. Like, you can take that money and just advertise your own business on Facebook. You might get more people that way. Because for the most part, I mean, you've got, 20 people advertising to the same group of people, and they know who the coaches are because they had a sheet in the group saying who the coaches were. So it's like you're advertising upon advertising, and people still aren't making money. So yeah, I would definitely put that on there as well. Um, two more things I wanted to mention because this video is running long. I have yet to receive my cease and desist letter. I'm waiting. So I haven't received it yet. I want to receive it so I can go ahead and blast it on this on these videos, but I still haven't received anything yet. Most of the cease and desist letters that I've seen that Jeff and Shaleia have been sending out, or their headquarters, or their, not even this, I can't even say their headquarters, their HR department has been sending out, has not been coming from a lawyer. It's literally them asking for people to, like, they're literally asking people to cease and desist. So it's not even an actual, like, a legit letter. And I think I might have mentioned this in another video, or maybe I was going to and I cut it out. But yeah, I have yet to receive a cease and desist letter. So still waiting. Oh man, I know. The last few seconds of this video, I'm acting a fool, but whatever. And the last thing I wanted to mention on a more serious note, to finish out this video, two more things. So one would be for anyone who is actually in the group still, or even if you're an ex-member or whoever, whatever the case may be, especially if you're in the group and you're low-key in it right now, and you want to get your story out there because maybe you feel like you are not ready to put your face out there to the public. If you would like to reach out to me and do an interview, whether that be through Skype, or whether it be a phone interview, or whatever the case may be, so that way I can share that, please let me know. I will make sure that I alter your voice, and that I have like a list of questions, so that way it's more generalized versus more personal, so that way they can't find out who you are. And definitely will edit certain things out if I feel like maybe there's personal information that might link to who you are. But if you are out there and you would like to put your story out there, and tell it through your own words, two ways you can do that. Either if you'd like to have it, like I said, have an interview with me, or sit down and chit chat via a call or something like that, and I can record it if that's okay with you, so that way you can share it that way. Or if you want to write out a story, your story, your experience, and I will read that off on the video, please let me know. For those who are in the group still, you'll be able to find a way to reach out to me. If you're not quite sure, try to private message me on Facebook, or private message me on YouTube if you can, and we will communicate that way and set everything up. But yeah, I would definitely like to get other people's story out there to the world as well, outside of just mine and what I currently have. I am going to be posting. Last thing I want to say, I am going to be posting more videos and screenshots of the abuse that is continuing to go on in TFU. That video is coming. I have a lot of information. Like I said earlier, I am a little backed up with the content that I have and that I want to touch base on. But there is even more, more ridiculousness in that group that's going out. Jeff and Shaleia belittling and talking down to not only their so-called coaches and people who are in their business and who are in their so-called new twin flame unions, but also people who are just in the group and have some concerns, and you are calling people out of their name. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be touching base on that. Like I said, I'm not quite sure when I will be able to get to that video exactly, but that is coming. But like I said, once again, for those who would like to sit down and have an interview or tell your story or however it is, or maybe have me ask you some questions and get your opinions or your experience, please reach out to me. Try to find a way to reach out to me. If you can't reach out to me on YouTube, try to find a way to reach out to me on Facebook. If you want, I will even actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I have a throwaway email, pretty much. I'm gonna link that in the description. I'm gonna put that in the description. If you want to reach out to me via that way, so that way, if you're not able to find me on Facebook, or if you don't want to comment on this channel, I'm gonna post that down below, so that way you have that and you can shoot me an email, and I'll check that. Just make sure you maybe put something in the subject line like Twin Flame Universe, story, or whatever the case may be, and I'll reach out to you for that, so we can see if we can set something up, or if I can at least just read your story. I do appreciate you guys hanging with me for this long, and not only that, but just listening to these videos. I am so thankful and so grateful that these videos are helping a lot of people. I'm grateful that these videos are opening a lot of people's eyes to what's really going on in this group, and to anyone in the group who is pretty much watching these videos because you spying, or to Jeff and Shaleia who might be sending people from the group over to be watching these videos or downvoting these videos, you might want to stop, because I've been getting some new followers, and they look like they might be some of your peoples. And I'm talking about like people who might be a little closer to you guys, to you guys' business. So I mean, I ain't gonna drop. Like I said, I'm not gonna drop any names, but I feel like you guys keep sending people over my way to downvote my videos and see what I'm discussing and how much information I'm dropping. But you continue to do that, and sooner or later, someone's gonna get curious, and they might watch these videos all the way through. Another thing I'll mention before I go, I know this has been a long video, longer than the other ones that I've posted. Jeff and Shaleia, I've been peeping y'all guys' game. I see all the testimonial videos that you guys have been coming out with, left and right, back to back. I come out with a video and you guys come out with 25 more. Other people are sharing their stories and experiences, and that are not positive. And you guys are trying to, I guess, counteract and trying to come up with these testimonial videos that you guys are putting out there. I peep your game. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do if you're trying to get this empire that you built on BS to try to stay afloat, before it comes tumbling down. But there's a lot. There's a lot coming. I don't want to spoil it for nobody. So that's all that I have to say to you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If it has been beneficial for you guys, please let me know. If there's something that you guys want to see me address in a next video, or something that you guys want to see me address right away, leave me a comment or reach out to me in that email that I'm going to be posting in the description and let me know. So that way I can try to get more information out there and make sure it's information that you guys want to hear, on top of the information that I want to release to you guys as well. So I hope you guys have a good day. I hope things get better for you guys if you guys are leaving. Also, once again, if you are having any unhealthy thoughts, or if you are needing help to deal with any of the situations that have been going on with you, please reach out to a professional. I hope you guys take care and everything is good, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace out.